All right, yogis, let's get started here. And as yogis, we always want to start with just a moment of mindfulness here. Maybe just closing our eyes, connecting to our breath, standing nice and tall. I like to kind of, roll my shoulders out, maybe shake it out, lift the heels. You're just kind of tuning into your body here for a moment. And then you kind of still the body, stand tall, take a couple of deep breaths. You're just kind of tuning in, setting an intention, arriving into practice, shifting from an external awareness to an internal. A lot of ways to think of this start here. And when you're thinking some of the primal yoga, they call it, it's kind of relates to the most primary movements we have and the most kind of just fundamental ways the human body is designed to move. So you think of walking, right? So it looks like this, okay? Think of it as a warm-up, a nice inhale, lifts my right knee, my right arm goes back. I'm taking this like marching in place. It's that same path in walking. I know a lot of us are doing walking, but just think of like marching in place here to warm up. Okay, you can lift that knee a little higher, lift those arms a little higher. Just notice, yogis, as my right knee lifts, my right arm goes back. So sometimes you see people going like this, where it's same side. It's actually the opposite. See that? And you can actually speed this up a little bit, which would be more like running, okay? It's actually a really nice warm-up. If you get that like really going, I'm still breathing. And this is where that idea of like primal yoga, these just movements that are so deeply rooted in our physiology. And you could even do this if you wanted to. That's kind of the same, right? As my left knee lifts, my left elbow's going back, and it's almost like jogging in place. Running has a lot of benefits. It's not easy if you don't do it often, but a lot of lymphatic and blood flow, really good for kind of flushing the body. Nice, Donna. Just kind of getting that body moving a little bit. And then, these couple warm-ups are stuff you see, the primal bending over. Say you're working on a farm, right? Inhale down, maybe pick something up, squeeze your butt. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. A few more. Notice my knees were bending. When you're working to, pick something up, notice my knees bend. It's almost like a chair pose, a squat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you want a little bit more, you could inhale, reach up. So think about the primal human. We were bending over to pick stuff up. We were reaching up, maybe into trees or, to forage. Now I'm getting warm. I just came from cryotherapy. I was in 3 minutes in negative 220 degrees. still a little cold. It was like about 45 minutes ago too. So, so that's like the primal stuff. I include that all in yoga, right? Nice. So let's keep going here, yogis. Let's loosen it up here. Just kind of twist it out. We kind of woke up the front and back body, the legs and the arms, and then we did them both together. Now we're ready to work up that twist a little bit more. And if you want to make it a little bit more primal, and when you do the primal flow, they make it like a punch where you're like, primal, right? You're kind of fighting. And hopefully, you're building a little bit of heat here, ideally. We want that warm-up to serve as a catalyst to increase blood flow and heat the body up. The temperature, right? So notice I'm kind of pivoting through my core. Nice. And then a little bit more warm-up here. Just bend those knees and kind of circle the arms. And then the second direction. I remember seeing a video of a physical therapist years ago talking about circumduction of your ball and socket joints, your shoulders and your hips, that you kind of circle them every day a little bit, right? And keep those shoulders from building up fascial restriction. We've talked about that in previous classes, okay? You're just kind of circling out your joints. So why don't we do the same thing in the legs? I bend those knees and I kind of circle the hips, okay? Just getting that body moving, right? All right, now shake that out. Now this one is from the Primal Flow. I taught this like once or twice. You want to think like a bow and arrow with a lunge. It's just like stuff we always do. Yeah, I want you to think like of a bow, right? You inhale, step back with your right foot, and you pull. And we call it Dristian yoga, where you're like aiming a bow, and then you release, and then you step forward. Left hand pulls the bow back. You gaze forward over that right hand. So it's not like alignment yoga, right? It's kind of like a half between warrior 2 and warrior 1. Pull that arm, aim, release. So you've seen we've done like punches, now we're doing like that bow and arrows, like the hunters. We've done the gatherer, the farmer. So we've done like the in the garden. You're gonna see more of that. And we're gonna go into more animal, what we call yoga soon here. All right, so again, we're just having some fun, like about the practice. And I didn't cue the breath. I kind of inhale as I pull that bow. Still, exhale. Yeah, that's just a way of doing it. One of my teachers would always teach us that. We'd even kind of pull back, aim high, right? So it's a little fun thing we do in the Primal Yoga. Okay, next. Now, oh, the kicking. So we got to do the kick in the Primal. Now just take it easy, right? Inhale, you start like a lunge. Now we didn't do much warm up, right? So be easy, you could always just do a knee. So a little bit easier is this, a little bit more, reach those arms. And they always talk about, there's different kind of kicks. I don't want to take too much time to do the kicking. I'm eventually thinking about teaching like a little martial art yoga class, but and then I could kick a little higher. I could work on kicking like knee. I could work on kicking like abdomen. I could work on kicking chest. Depends on how you feel. I could also kind of turn and kick. So the first one looks like this. The second one, I open and then I come from the side. I step back, I open, and I come to the side. So this is our last thing here until we make our way down to the ground. So now the first one is back, forward, and then it's open. I kind of come across the body. It may be easy though, right? Because that's a big twisting motion. Second side, please. They do that thing where you block as you go back. So as I inhale, I block, and then I strike, right? Block. You block, right? So if someone was coming, you kind of get back and get sturdy, like someone's getting you, but then you, boom. Kind of violent for yoga, but it's always good to do new things, guys. Just like anything, your kids in school, they're always learning new things. You're building on what you're doing with your mind and body. All right. So primal, the primal way that humans go to the bathroom, right? All right. Yogi squat. So now we hold here. All right. When I went to India for a month, the toilets were holes in the floor. So if you can't go like this very well, you're in trouble. All right. Last few breaths. So the next thing that you're going to see is so common in yoga, but done a little bit different way. It's down dog to up dog. All right. So down dog, just like my dog does in the morning all the time, she goes like this, stretches out. Take a few breaths, but I want to show you. And then she comes forward and stretches out her legs like this. So you notice I didn't do the push-up part, right? It's the dog work now, where I'm hinging the hips up and back, and then I'm coming forward. Hinging the hips up and back, bringing the hips forward. Now, if that's too much, you know what I do here? I come forward, I drop the knees, and then I kind of lift the hips, tuck the toes, lift the knees up and back. My toes kind of stay tucked. You're doing that down dog stretch. You're doing the up dog in a little bit more of like a fluid way. You know, sometimes we do the chaturangas in yoga and it's like too stiff. You know, you're holding that plank and then you hold that stiff plank and you come back up. It's a little bit more kind of like, let's be looser. Let's move more freely, yogis. Last few, okay? I did this practice yesterday. I did a lot though. I have this enormous list of things we can do here, but squat, table walk. All right, so our next movement's not that easy. Maybe take a cat-cow here. I want to get to our second tier because we're about 15 minutes in. And I want to make sure we have a nice stretch because basically all this stuff is mobility. It is going to help with flexibility and strength, like I said in the email. That's what's nice about this. It's kind of like vinyasa, but done a little bit more. Now, you could do it easy, right, where it's this. You're literally going to crawl around on the hands and feet. Like, you know, in animal flow, they don't really have a mat, right? You're just kind of going like this. Now, if you're good at it, you go like this. You hover your knees and tuck your toes. And I bring my left knee forward, my left arm forward, my right hand forward, my right knee forward. And I'm kind of crawling around. Now, for a beginner, you just kind of go straight and then you go back, right? Oh, but eventually, you kind of turn in circles. You go sideways a little bit. And then you kind of crawl around. Now, like I said, guys, just doing it on the knees is totally cool. When I did this yesterday, I already worked out, actually. I did it after my workout. And then I was just doing it on the knees, right? Just to kind of get into that feel. I did forward and back. I walked to the sides, and then I started twisting, and then I kind of put it all together. All right? And then, you know, maybe take a moment, sit back. We're just trying some stuff. Sometimes the animal flow, they'll say, okay, let's do this for 5 minutes. And you're like, whoa, you know, that's not easy, because as yogis, we're kind of static in that form. So a lot of this stuff we're doing, you're familiar with. We're kind of like doing it in a different way, right? Now, our next movement, a little bit tough. Let's go right to the lateral squat here. So we're going to switch it up a little bit from my sequencing. I want to warm your twisting body up a little bit more, your legs up a little bit more. So I want to widen your feet here. So we're going to come to straddle. And I want to show you the movement, yogis, okay? I'm going to go left here, bend my left knee, and then I'm going to go right and bend my right knee. So this is how it starts. Yoga, we call it skandasana. So I want to show you it. This is first krama, it's called. Now, second krama is the same, but I add and twist. So as I bend my right knee, I shift to the right, my right arm out and up. Now, it goes a lot further if you want to see it. You go here, 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 and then you bring it all the way back around. You see, it's kind of like poses you know. We're practicing moving our bodies skillfully, side to side, maybe twist, maybe that kind of flip dog movement where that twist, that front leg comes back and around. So now we're taking our first really big complex movement. So be easy now, we're in the thick of it. We're in like the stronger exercises. Okay, so let's just do one or two more if you're gonna try it. You know, it's good to see how your body reacts. You know, this class is being recorded. It's just me, I don't record you guys. So I'm gonna put it up on the internet eventually and you'll be able to refer back to it if you wanna try again. Okay? I had a little sequence here, but now I've strayed. Yoga, squat, walk. Stand and lay back, stand and lay out. Okay, so nice job there. All right, guys, so now let's do this one. We're in yoga squat. And I kind of lift my heels. Not easy. Watch. I walk forward, right heel lifts. I lift my left heel, right foot forward. Lift my right heel, left foot forward, left heel. So I'm walking around. It's not easy, guys. So, you know, this stuff seems simple. Yeah, we're basically low walking around, okay? That is a tough movement to stay low like that. I felt it in my left ankle. I worked out earlier. I did a lot of ankle work today. And I felt that, okay? So take a breather. You know, like if you went to animal flow practice regularly, what we do, like I said, is we take a few of these and we would do like 5 rounds. And there would be subtle variations in each one. I'm giving you a broad look at how this practice kind of is, okay? Shake it up. Now this next one they call, it's like the frog, okay? So we're in the animal kingdom here. Now it looks like this. So it's kind of like a table. It's almost like you're going to crow pose, but watch. My hands together, I have my feet outside my hands forward. Oh, you go forward, but then you start to explore your living room or wherever you are, okay? So, you see it? See the little frog moving around? Let's try it. And yeah, and if you're only doing a lot of yoga, you're gonna realize how much different some of this stuff is, especially as you start to explore your living room here. Forward and back is a different story than going in a circle or turning left and then turning around and then turning right like you're a little frog. Okay, and don't worry, you're feeling some tension, that's normal. You were gonna release that in the end. Okay, so take a moment, guys, shake that out. And now I want to do one more here. It's there's a lot of the primate series. It's like the monkey movements. We're gonna do one or two today. There is one just like that, what we did. That's one of the monkeys, but it starts like this, guys. All right, so I bring my hands to the right. I'm in yoga squat again, right? And look, now it's side to side. Hands to the left, jump left. Notice I'm trying to move skillfully, guys. And then I can go at like an angle. So I'm going now to, you know, the front corner of my living room, not to the side, not forward. I'm kind of going this way, look. And then I'm going this way. You see the primal animal kind of thing happening? Nice, Donna. And you can always do like hands on a couch. You can do hands on like blocks. You know, it is a lot being bent over, you know, but again, it comes from like the most primal animal-like movements, okay? Now I want to throw something in here before we go big. with our up-down movements. So lay on your back for a moment. Let's do a nice bridge, because that was a lot of twisting, lateral, bent over flexion. So let's just do a few nice yoga bridges now. Here's where humans became civilized and built bridges. All right. They don't really do this in primal yoga, but I'm adding it, okay? Because it's just really fantastic. Go up and down a few times. As my girlfriend's daughter says, pump it. She always, when we're doing bridge, she's like, pump it. And you're getting those hips going, right? Couple more. In a sense, that's just balancing out maybe some of the stuff we did, okay? All right, yogis, so take a moment. Let me just give you one last stretch here before we move forward. Just we're having fun. I'm not giving you too much, exact way to do this stuff. Feet together, knees drop over to the left. So I'm just on my back now. Taking a little stretchy twist here. If there's another twist calling to you, a single leg or a nice cross-legged, that feels good too. Do your second side, please. So that was some nice bridges and a nice kind of stretchy twist, just to kind of give us a break there after we did all that kind of crazy stuff. So today, right, if you're just joining, it's a kind of a specialty class. We're looking at some primal movements. We've been doing some stuff you never get to do in yoga, and that's going to kind of continue. This is a tough practice now. So, if you can't do some of this stuff, no worries. We're just doing this as a specialty class, a one-time thing today, okay? So listen, let's bring our knees into our chest, and I want you to take a few of these now. You're kind of massaging your back, up and down. Feels pretty good to me today. Getting little cracks in there, little pops. I am sore today. All right, so we're gonna try something now. This is from the Primal. I'm not sure how this is from the Primal, but it is in the Primal. So it's another table, but what we call it is the kick through. I've taught this in yoga maybe a couple times, and I just want to show you here what it looks like from a couple angles. So it's that same thing where I hover in tabletop, okay? And I'm in this tabletop, and what I want to do is seal my left foot down, shift my weight to my right hand, kick my right leg through. Now, it looks like this, guys. Hovering table, right foot down, kick left foot. Left foot down, right hand. It looks like this. I would think it's more like breakdancing or something, but watch from the side. Hovering table. If you want one more angle, kind of an angled show. This is tough stuff. stuff, guys. So I understand if you need to skip some. It's all for fun. You don't need to feel pressure to do everything. Couple more tries if you're doing it. All right, guys, let's come back here. Sit on your butt, please. Only got about, maybe 10 more minutes of this stuff, and then we're gonna take some nice meditative feel-good stretches. Now, this is not an easy one. It's called the crab, all right? So we do this posture a lot in yoga. If you have sensitive wrists, you only lift your butt an inch, or you just don't even do it, okay? It looks like this. Now I'm going side to side so I don't go off screen. But ideally, you're just kind of going forward and back to start. It's a good arm workout too, boy. You can really feel those triceps, the back of my arms. We always do it like this in yoga. I don't have you move ever. So even though you've done it 1,000 times, just throwing this movement in is gonna be like, whoa. And then what you do is just like the walking downward table, you go side to side. After you're good at going forward and backwards. And then you twist, you turn around. And then you turn around the other way. Okay, last couple of tries. Ooh, I can feel this in my arms. I think maybe because when I did this yesterday, I did it at the Bay Club. It's a nice soft floor, and I went on the treadmill for like 15 minutes before. I was really warmed up, and I think I'm feeling it. It's like sore. My shoulders and when I did the crab walk, I walked all the way down and back, the whole length of the room, and I can feel it. So you might be sore, guys. Right back here is sore, my back of my arms and my shoulders. All right. So take a moment if you need. That's the little crab walk. And let's do the Sufi roll. So we're going to sit like this, and I'm just bringing it back to some of the most ancient Tantra yoga, Kundalini type thing. It's this here. It's just kind of a little bit of a breather. We just did that kick through in the table. Like I call it breakdancing, but it's in the primal flow. And this is kind of like a primal yoga thing. It's really ancient movement where the yogis would be sitting and meditating, and the meditators would be not like knowingly, they'd be like this. So there'd be these monks that would be meditating for hours and hours, and they would be going like this, and then they would be asked, did you realize you were circling? And they'd be like, no, I was still. But they would be doing this for like hours. Now, we're getting a little bit deeper into it, okay? Second direction, if you want to switch your opposite shin. You see how I work you strong, but then I give you a little bit of a moment to, release a little tension and take a rest. Now, there are a lot of more. What happens is eventually is you string this all together and they don't really take breaks, right? The teacher will just call it out and you'll be like, boom, you're in it, and then they'll call out chameleon, and then they'll call out monkey, and then they'll call out crab, and you're just boom, 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 boom. I'm doing a little bit more. Let's be kind to our body too, right? I want to show you a couple more challenging variations if you ever want to try it. So it looks like this. You start like the dog or a plank. I step my right foot forward. I kick my left foot forward. My left foot goes back. My right foot goes back. So from the front, right foot forward, left foot through. Left foot back, right foot back. Left foot forward, right foot forward. It's like the kick through, but now you're doing a step forward and a kick forward. We don't necessarily need to do it because it's the first time we're doing this stuff. It looks like this at more of a true speed. See how I'm kind of jumping forward? Okay, now, again, this stuff is tough. We're having fun, no worries if you can do it or if you're doing it well. No one can do it well. Even athletes and yogis starting new stuff, we're not good at it. The next thing is called the lizard walk. Now, this one's really tough, guys, all right? So it starts in like low plank. I'm just gonna give you a quick demo. We'll get to a couple last things together after that. It starts in low plank. I bring my right knee to my right shoulder and I step forward. And then my right hand goes forward and I stay low, right? And then I shift the weight to my right foot. My right foot propels me forward. So I push, I stay low. My left hand goes forward, my left leg comes forward. So it looks like this. Let me show you if I walk through the room here. It's hard to demo on Zoom right now. Right, so it's this really low, creepy, slithery, hovering, walking thing. And if you want to do like a plank instead, or something like this is a nice kind of substitute. Just kind of bringing the knee forward, kind of that first part. Totally cool. I have some ideas in this class. I want to do a chair yoga class. It's fun. We use a chair to stretch and to strengthen. So look for that coming up. Chair yoga. It's unreal. A nice prop. I have a thing called dance yoga too, where we really start to get dancey in poses. I really love doing that. I think we're going to do that coming up as well. Chair yoga and that. I have a few other ideas, so we'll use this class to have some fun. Now, the last more advanced thing you could try, guys, before we do our up downs, to close this out, they call it like the cartwheel. It's really tough, guys. Not for everyone, right? So it looks like this. You're kind of in your yogi squat. Now, before we were just doing this. Now it's kind of like I go here, my hand plants next to me, my chest starts to face this way again, and right? It's kind of like a cartwheel almost. And that starts to get really deep into the primal flow. Again, might be a little too much, and you just do the monkey again, the side to side, kind of hands, feet, hands, feet. Your feet almost become hands. Wait, your hands almost become feet in this as you're working in the primal animal work. Okay? And I'm sweating doing this, guys. Spinal rolling, butterflies, tap heel, tap knee. All right, guys, so in the big primal stuff, we do the laying on our back and standing back up. So I want to show you really quick. If you wanted to try an intro to this, guys, there is this. So we go back to yogi squat, right? Now watch if you want to try it. I tap my knees, and then I try to tap my heels, right? So knees, heels, knees, heels. More challenges, knees, heels, butt, heels, knees, heels, butt. See that? This is tough stuff, guys, okay? So that's how that kind of starts in the lower form. Now, it looks like this, yogis, if you wanted to try it. When you think of really primal stuff, Jumping, probably, is a primal movement. So is running. We talked about that, and kind of bending over. So the movement looks like this if you want to try it. It's basically represents jumping and then kind of laying on your back, getting back up off the ground, standing up, jumping. So if you want to try really quickly, yogis, it looks like this, okay? I bend my knees, butt, and lay all the way on my back. I come back up. I jump, catch myself, and it goes like that. All the way down your back, as high as you can, as low as you can get on the ground fully, and as high as you can propel your body, low to high, low to high. So that's how that works. It looks like this. If you want one more demo, notice when I jump, it leads me straight down and smooth. I don't jump, land hard, and then squat. I jump right down into it. I lay back. I sit up, jump, down. In the advanced primal class, they do it all like one leg. You roll up in a one-legged squat. You stand up and jump with one leg, and then you go down with one leg, right? And then you go up one leg, all the way up. It's crazy, okay? And then yogis, we have the pranam. So it's the primal yoga, okay? One last one if you want to try it. What it reminds me of is what they call like a burpee. So you don't have to jump in this one. They call it the original sun salutation. The first sun salutation, okay? So you inhale, reach your arms up. You exhale, go down. You step back, down to your chest, reach forward. You come back up, step your feet forward. Strong core, stand up, reach up. You bow down, forehead down, arms reach forward. All the way up, all the way down. Last few if you want to try it. And that's called the pranam in yoga, the full pranam. When I went to India, we did that for an hour straight one day, out in the sun and in the dirt. I was filthy. It was 90s. I was covered in, I was literally caked with dirt because of my sweat. And it was so incredibly amazing. I did it another day with one of the monks. They asked if anyone wanted to do it. So it's really cool. All right. So listen, guys, let's meet on the chest. I can't really see what you guys are doing. I'm just going to keep moving forward because I want to get you some nice stretch and release, some nice meditative stuff where you're feeling good. So this is one of the last ones. They call this swimming. Think about primal humans too. Swimming, right? So you do some stuff like this. If you'll watch me, I lift my chest a little, right? So I go right leg, left arm, left leg. See that? And I am going a little bit faster. You see that? Opposite leg, opposite arm. Opposite leg, opposite arm. See that? I'm swimming. They call it like the swimming man or something like that. They also do the kind of the stroke where you so, it's quite similar to a lot of yoga stuff we do. Just subtle variations, makes it fun. Sometimes you get into these yoga realms where it's like, that's not yoga. Okay. Being too narrow-minded is called not yoga, right? So, the Buddha said the whole goal is to have no opinions. So, he's one of the greatest yogi monks of all time. So, I trust it, that Buddha. And if you want one last strengthener, and in yoga they call it the locust, or in the, what do they call it? In the animal flow, it's the butterfly. So think of it like you're a caterpillar and you just emerged and you everything up, everything down. And you do it like smooth. See the arms. It's a little butterfly movement because the butterfly wings have those big front parts and the little back tail parts. The legs are like the little tail part. It's all one big wing. Imagine they're connected with the wing and they're kind of moving to fly. You know, maybe your hands go a little bit faster down and the legs follow, and they're not exactly in unison. It's like this fluid thing, like you're trying to fluidly move through air. If that makes sense, that's how it's kind of more taught in the primal animal yoga. How about we take a couple stretches? When you're done, that represents like our back bending. Let's press back to child pose for a moment, please. Really nice job. Thanks for showing up. My classes keep getting more weird, and you know, it's good though, guys. We need a little bit weird mixed with that kind of routine. All right, yogis, so let's do a nice hamstring stretch and a hip stretch here. I'm going to choose to do the straddle. If you want to sit up against the wall or even throw your legs up the wall, just let them open like this, that's cool. But how about we just get those legs nice and wide. Try to get if you're against the wall like I'm doing here, I want to get the hips all the way against the wall, right? And then that'll help me keep the grounding on my back. Maybe a little side stretch to get the deepest lower back muscle. So my right hand is down, my left arm goes up and over. I'm not reaching across to the foot. I'm reaching that arm just really up. So my hand's on the wall, right? So that gives you a good view. Then you can switch sides. No rush. It's a big stretch, so especially after demanding new things of your body, you know, be a little easy in your stretching. I'm way more flexible, but you know, I can still feel stretching. Okay, come back to center. Maybe a breath or three right down the middle. Okay, nice job there, yogis. Let's slowly sit up. Maybe an outer hip stretch, but first, I'd like to do the thighs. You'd be surprised how much the thighs are working. Now, how do we stretch our thighs? By bending the knee deep, right? So you can sit on your heels and lean back. The quads. If you were standing, you could do it like this. Just don't let the knee go forward, pull it back. Don't let the back arch, pull it in. So ribs in, knee back, heel to butt. Okay, couple more breaths. If you're doing one side, make sure you switch it up, please. So we stretched our inner and kind of back thighs. We stretched the front. Now how about we go like the outer hip? So a couple options here. Just there's only 3 of us, so cross the shins and forward fold here. That's similar to pigeon, or easier is lay on the back and kind of do our figure 4. Pigeon, don't forget, is this one here where the leg is forward at an angle, and I crawl that back leg back. Roll that hip toward the heel and maybe come down. So that's a little bit more like a weight-bearing variation. Okay, a couple more breaths. Okay, so switch sides, please. Whether it's figure 4 or just cross-legged, they're all in the same realm of stretching. It's going to get that kind of glute and outer hip and piriformis area. So that's kind of pretty good for our hips, right? We did the side waist. Probably good to do a nice twist here. So you can shake it out. I'm going to do the seated twist. Remember we already did one on the back? So we'll do one upright. Lift the chest, maybe twist to the right. So if my right knee's bent, I twist to the right. Just notice I take the rounding out. I try to sit up more tall, okay? Last few breaths here. It's a shorter pose. You don't want to hold deep assisted twist too long. Okay, we'll switch sides. Okay, meet back in center, please. I want to do a quick shoulder stretch, the front shoulder in particular. And if there's another one you want to do, we do this one a lot where we lay on the chest. This is a really nice one because it's right in here. These front downward running shoulder deltoid muscles right through here. It's really tight on a lot of people. So watch what I do. I bring my hands behind me, fingers face forward. Remember the crab? But now we take it as a stretch. Hips go forward, elbows bend, chest lifts, hips go forward, elbows bend a little bit more, chest kind of lifts up as the elbows are bending. And I take some big breaths into the upper chest. You should hopefully feel a stretch, kind of right into the front of your shoulder here. Okay, I tend to do that wide arm, but this one is also needed a lot, right? Like if I could show you, this would be a chair yoga thing, right? You go like that. Same thing, you're getting that. And we also do it like this too, right? We do those on the floor, same stretches. So listen, guys, here in the end, I want to give like 2 to 3 minutes for a final option. So it might feel good to do like a restorative fish. There's that big chest opener. okay? Here being at the end of practice, you could bring your head to the floor, but a lot of times a second block or pillow is under your head. You could even bring the soles of your feet together and might feel nice. That is a different hip stretch than we did earlier anyway. Another nice option could be a little neck massage. So you don't put the block under your chest here. You just right in the back of the skull, little massage. And one last final, these are all kind of restorative postures, just to kind of really settle, is that restorative bridge with the option of legs up. So depending on if your neck was more tight or your chest, shoulders, I put that block into my sacrum, I relax here. Or even like I mentioned, go here. Which one, you guys know your body. Trust those instincts. Close your eyes now. A little bit more meditative, okay? Maybe a couple of subtle, deep breaths. Nice slow exhale. Another minute and a half here, yogis. Try to let this one settle in a little bit longer, okay? We did a lot. It was kind of moving around, not as mindful as a normal yoga class. It might feel good to even take a big inhale, kind of side out the mouth, or even a lion's breath. Even stick out the tongue a little. There's a fun breath method here. You could flutter your lips on the exhale, and that's going to kind of vibrate the face. You feel it vibrate all the skin. It's really therapeutic. It's supposed to be healthy for your sinuses and wrinkles and tension, headaches around your eyes. Bring vibration, brings blood flow. Okay, last minute, please. So what I'd like you to do is finish up that last pose, all right? And we'll just close with a short meditative state. And if I may today, since there's two of us, go a little bit deeper in the philosophy and more spiritual side of yoga. Yoga is based on this idea of karma, right? And karma is based on the idea of reincarnation. Karma is not just one life. It's they say reincarnation is based off this theory that you're born many times. Just like you wake up and put on new clothes each day, you wake up each birth and just put on a new body, right? And it seems like you wear it for a long time, but over the years you wore many outfits. And then eventually you remember all of them. And you had some outfits you like more than others. But there is this idea in reincarnation that we were once animals. Less chakras, less awareness, less energy centers, less evolution of the spirit and the energy. And as yogis say in the animal primal, it's you meditate on being your previous selves, not only as the human form. The yogis claim that when we have these visions of us from previous lives, as we start to purify, cleanse, and open our mind, we gain awareness to the past more and the future. But the past tells us a lot about what we're doing now and what's called our dharma,
like what we're supposed to be working on in this life. We're born into this life with certain things we're working on and supposed to do to get to that next nicer outfit. And you meditate on like the visions you have. I have this vision. If I may tell a quick story, 30 seconds. I've always had this vision. It's kind of weird, but it's a vision of me jumping off of a horse with two other guys, and I pull out two swords and I go into battle, and I kill a lot of people. So I've had this vision a lot, and it's always sat with me since my teens, and I've had it many times, and it's like, what the hell? Why do I keep thinking this way? What does it mean? So I went to a Russian PhD who has another degree in astrology, and she does the what's it called? The vibrational meditative healing, right? So I'm sitting in it, and there's a certain name for it, a Reiki master. And she's doing the Reiki on me, and I never told her any of this. And she goes, I just had a vision on you of a horse with two swords. And I'm like, I had this vision many times. She was like, oh, that's a past life. And she said, oh, the two guys you were with, they're now your guardian angels. They're here protecting you because you protected them. And so just some food for thought about how like these visions we have, you're supposed to meditate on them. They mean a lot. If something's like keeps coming to you, you meditate on it. It could be something very weird. You think like you're a fish or something. And that is awesome. So that was not 30-second story. 2 to 3 minutes, final meditation. Take it as you like. Final meditation, guys. Okay?